So let's play e4, Bobby Fischer's favorite move. All right, I have a really good question, guys. Is chess about understanding or is it about pattern recognition? That's a really good question. So I would actually have to say both, right? What do I mean by that? Well, if you probably solve a lot of tactics, right? Such as Tactics Trainer, or for those who have Android devices, you can get my app Chess Genie. By solving a lot of tactics, you can actually improve in chess. And tactics is more of a pattern recognition, whereas understanding positional nuances, you know, how to improve when you have a bad piece, pawn structure, that's I would call understanding of chess. Using ideas from one opening and then using them in another opening, that's also understanding of chess. So I feel like it's about both. C6, this guy knows what he's talking about. This is not a bad move. He's getting this retreat square for the queen. Typically bishop d2 is an idea here. So how should I proceed? Should I go for the main line? Knight f3. Let's go for the main line. Knight f6 or bishop, yeah, this is fine too. And then knight f6, bishop d2, and then they play e6 usually. And then knight d5. See guys, this is the main idea of this line. Knight e4 is okay too, by the way. Maybe knight d4. That's okay. Knight d5. Let's stick to the main line. Now queen's under attack. She has to go all the way to d8. Yep, this is all theory. And now I want to castle long or short. I don't know which way. But first things first, let's protect the pawn so queen can go to e2. Queen is now on e2. Now I get an option, long or short, depending on what he does, right? He's probably going to go knight d7. That's my guess. Queen c7 and castle long. I actually did a video on this for black, the Scandinavian. Maybe my opponent watched it. If so, that's a good job. He may know what to do next. So now queen c7 I expect. And I want to play here. I want to put pressure now. You don't want to allow knight takes f5, triple up those pawns, so you probably drop back. And then g3 is the idea. And then the following idea is quite instructive. So if I play f4, he's going to play f5. That bishop is locked up, but after knight f6, bishop h5, he's actually come to life. So what I have to do is I have to redirect the knight and get the h pawn, h the hairy guy to h5 and create some weaknesses. So that's my idea here. Let's see if he's gonna figure it out. What my idea is. So he wants to play e5 maybe. Do we care? Maybe a little bit. Okay, he did play h5. So now if I play knight f4, maybe e5 is quite an interesting idea. So that's what I'm expecting. Another idea, he can just take that knight, but then I get the bishop pair. Bishop pair is always nice. Yep, he did play e5. So I was going to take this guy. And now it's an interesting position. Notice, guys, I can win a pawn. Bishop f7, bishop takes. But then he takes here, and the position gets a little hairy. But I do think that the g6 pawn is vital. And if he loses that, his h pawn is going to get weak. Well, can I take it? Free pawn maybe? Yep, so you see guys, he blundered the pawn, and now there is really no easy move for black. Pawn on h5 is hanging. He's trying to get counterplay. That's not a bad move. But I do feel like pawn is a pawn. You cannot simply give up pawns like that. So I could win this pawn, by the way, but then he plays f5. I don't like to allow my opponent's counterplay. And then this is called prophylactics. You don't want to have the king in front of the queen. Maybe some knight check. Knight is a very tricky piece. So, and then I want to play bishop e3. and double my rooks maybe on the d file. All right, let's see what's going to happen next. H pawn is really weak. See, this rook constantly has to babysit this little guy on h5, because otherwise I'm going to grab it with my queen. So what is he going to do next? That's a tough question. Bishop on f5 restricts a lot of his pieces. His bishop on d6 looks pretty bad. All right, now, as I like to say, endgame, endgame, endgame. Oh, I could have actually taken on h5, but that's okay. So I pre-moved queen takes d1, thinking that he may trade, but he didn't have to trade. So instead, I'm gonna take the pawn. Watch out for back rank mates. If my queen ever leaves side of this rook, it's gonna be mate. Now bishop f4 wins. Oops. So somebody asked a question about patterns. Well, this is called the skewer pattern in chess. Bishop on f4, hitting the queen and the king. You see, this is a skewer. So I think he's just blundered this. So let's see if he's going to resign after this move. So that's bad news for black. So yes, you have to solve tactics. Like I said, you can solve tactics, tons of apps. There is a Chess Genie app that I created with 500 puzzles for all levels. There is Tactics Trainer. You got to know about these skewers, checks, forks, smothered mates. It's all patterns.